Hello. So this is going to be a tutorial on how to make pencil crayon galaxy stars in color. I'm making these on toned tan paper by Strathmore. All the materials I'm using will be in the description, and the colors that I'm using and everything like that. Okay, so let's get started. So first, I'm just going to take a pencil and I'm going to draw a square. Then I'm going to take the Prismacolor Premier white pencil crayon in 938 and I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to color it in solid. Then I'm going to get my first color, which is my lightest purple, which is Lavender 934. Now, you don't have to pick the same colors that I'm picking. Just color in little baby circles and color around the white circle. So basically you just pick 3 shades of any color. I've chosen purple for this tutorial. You can do pink, you can do red, you can do orange, any color you want. And do exactly what I'm doing, just with a different color. When you pick your colors, try to keep them close to one another, like a light shade, a medium shade, and a dark shade. This is the medium shade, Lilac 956. I'm going to do the same thing, go in a circle, coloring around the color we did previously. And I'm coloring in little tiny circles because I find that with galaxy coloring, it blends easier when you color in circles versus coloring horizontally or vertically. Then our dark shade is Mulberry 995. Do the same thing again. And now why I say this tutorial is colored stars, as you can see, I'm using color. This is going to be a purple star. And the sky is also going to be purple, unlike your usual black sky. I will do another tutorial to show you how to blend a colored star into a black sky, which is just a little bit different than making a colored sky. So then after you do that, you go back and get your white. And what we're going to do is go in little circles again, and we're going to pull in that first color of purple into the center. So we're just going in little circles, blending the first purple into the white. Then we're going to move over into the second shade of purple, and we're pulling that into the second shade of purple. And we're blending the first purple and the second purple together with the white. Keep going in circles. We're going to move up to the darkest purple and do the same thing. Just keep going in little circles. I'm adding full pressure here, so I'm coloring, adding full pressure when I'm pressing down. And just keep going around till all of that dark is blended in. And there we go. I like to use a watercolor mop brush, that's this, to like brush away the crumbs off my paper instead of blowing them off or having to shake them off, and I just sweep it off to a designated spot on my desk. And then when I'm done, I just clean out the little pile of dust that I made on my desk, so it's just not all over my desk. The next thing we're going to do is take our darkest shade again, which was Mulberry 995, and we're going to color in the background. So all around the star, we're not going to be overlapping the star. If you make a little like color on the star accidentally, don't worry about it, because we're going to be blending the star into the sky after we finish coloring in the background. Just a heads up, I have a very large family. I have a lot of children that I live with, so I have told them that I am trying to film tutorials, but they still might need me. So if somebody bursts into my room and needs to ask a question, you'll know why. It's because kids need me for something, so that might happen. I also have cats that when my bedroom door is closed, they think it's the end of the world. So you'll hear them scratching at the door and meowing like their life is going to end or something. So that could potentially happen. I'm adding full pressure here. Just gonna move my camera up a little bit more. There we go. Now, when you're coloring at full pressure, a tip I would give is to make sure you're being aware of your shoulders, your neck, your elbows, that you're not tensing them when you're coloring with full pressure like this, because you can get your shoulders really sore, your neck can get really sore. You might even be pressing your elbows into the table if you're leaning up onto the table a little bit too much. Yeah, so just put all of the pressure when you're coloring with full pressure into your fingers. And in the beginning, it's normal for your fingers to feel sore and tired because the muscles in your fingers aren't used to doing that consistently. Because when I started coloring full pressure, like quite often doing galaxy coloring, my fingers would get really, really sore. But over time, I think I've developed, this isn't a real thing, like scientific or anything, but I kind of made it up. I think I've developed coloring muscles in my fingers. Is that a thing? I don't know, but my fingers don't get sore anymore. It's just like I'm used to coloring. So if they feel sore, it's normal, but just try to keep your arms relaxed when you're coloring. So at least only your hands will be a little bit sore. Okay, so now I'm gonna dust that off. Now that we've colored in the background. Just getting it all into one little pile here so it's not all over my desk. Okay, then we're gonna go back in with our lightest shade of purple, which was Lavender 934. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna color in little circles right down the middle of this line, the line that's separating the dark sky and the star. And we're just gonna do little circles. Circles is like the key word in these tutorials, I'm noticing. Yep, just little circles, And we're kind of just softening that line that's separating the sky and the star. Gonna go all the way around. Till that line is gone. Then we're gonna dust that away. If you don't have a brush to dust away, you can just shake it over a garbage can and just hit the back of the paper so all the dust comes off. Now we're going to get our colorless blender pencil crayon. That looks like this. Prismacolor Premier, colorless, and it's 1077. I'm going to get a scrap piece of paper. just to color on it, because my tip is really pointy and I want a flat edge on my pencil crayon, so I'm just going to scribble a little bit. So now that I scribbled, I have a flat edge, which makes it easier for blending. So now that we made that line softened, it's given us two more lines. The inner line right here separating this new blend we made from the light blend. Right there's a little line going around. And there's a little bit of a dark line out here. This one isn't much of a problem because we like to keep that there, but we'll soften it a bit. But we really want to soften this line. So we're blending all the colors together. So the colorless blender is nice because it won't add any color to your paper. It will just move around the color that's already on your paper. Now, when you're working with this one, we're adding no pressure. Everything we've been doing up till now has been full pressure. And when we were initially putting the colors down, it was like medium firm pressure, but now this is like no pressure at all. I'm barely touching the paper. I'm being very, very gentle. I'm just going in circles to soften this line so it blends in with the lightest purples in the center. So it's kind of like I'm trying to erase this line separating the two. It won't be perfect. That's okay. Just being very, very gentle. I'm just going over one area over and over and over and over until that line looks smudged out. Here you can do a little bit of horizontal and vertical coloring if you need to, if you feel like that will smudge in the line better. Try to stick to circles as much as you can, but if you need to do a little bit of both, that's okay. And now you can see that line is much, much softer now. We're going to do the same with the outer line and being even more gentle, barely touching the paper, just to soften the line a little bit. So you can see there's still obviously separation, but it's not as harsh as that. So some people like to keep the line harsh if that's how you want your star to look. You don't have to blend the outer dark line, which is the last line I'm blending right now, the darkest line on the very outer side of the star. If you like to have that sharp line there and not have it as blended like I'm doing right now, you could just leave it. At any point, you can just stop blending if you like how it looks, or you could just keep blending all the different layers that I'm doing. I really like my stars to look soft and glowy because this whole process we're doing right now really is just the glow effect for the star. The star itself we'll put down with some white ink. You can use a Jelly Roll pen or any white ink you like. I like to use the UniPosca personally. And now it's a little bit softer, which is generally how I like my stars to look, the glowy part. And if you're gonna go from doing dark and you're like, oh, I wanna like fix there a little bit more, just go on a scrap paper and, because it'll pick up a little bit of color. Now it's clean again, but you could see it had some dark purple on it and I wouldn't wanna bring that to the center. So like say I wanted to work here or go a little bit in the middle, I would just make sure you wipe off your colorless blender on a scrap piece of paper. If you bring the light to the dark, that doesn't really matter because it won't change the dark as much, but pulling the dark into the light can affect your light colors. Now we're gonna swipe those dusts away, those crumbs. Then we're gonna get our white pencil crayon again. Mine has some purple on it from blending, so I'm just gonna clean it off. Just wipe a little bit on scrap paper. And I'm gonna recolor the original white circle in the middle. What did I just say? In the matter. That's not even a word. So we're just brightening that white circle. Then we're gonna go back to the colorless blender. I'm gonna clean the tip off because it has some purple on it. Make sure it's clean. What I'm gonna do now is that bright circle we just colored, we're gonna soften the edge of that white circle by going in little circles. I'm leaving the white crumbs there because they're gonna move around on the paper and blend in a little bit with the light purples, and I want that. That's why I didn't dust them away. It's just gonna soften the edge. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just softening it a little bit so it's not a really harsh white line. And then we'll dust that away. And now we're done the coloring. That's all I do to make my galaxy stars. I'm going to use a UniPosca paint pen. I'm using the pin type in 0.7 millimeters. I'm going to go back to my scrap piece of paper to prime the pen, the paint pen. Just pump it a few times and make sure the ink is running. I like to wipe the edge on like a piece of, I have like some paper towel over here. Just wipe the edge of the pen from the last time I used it because it got a little bit messy the last time I used it. So I'm just wiping off the gunk off the like silver part right there. So just pump it again. Okay, so I've been practicing at trying to make my stars better in the center with my ink. So I'm going to try my best. Normally first of all, I just do normally the star. We'll just do the star first of all. So you just add the ink directly in the middle, and that is your star. This is how you make your galaxy star. You just add the ink directly in the middle. And then if you want to add the stars to the sky, which in this case our sky is purple, if you want little stars, you just don't even barely touch the paper. Bigger stars you color like in a little circle. Medium stars you kind of press a little bit harder down. And always make sure your stars are circular. If you dot down and they're like rectangular or kind of oval or like a weird shape like that, they won't look like stars. They'll look weird. So what you do in that case is you just double tap your ink in the same exact spot and let more ink come out to help make your star look more circular. You can just place them wherever you want, make bigger ones, little ones. I also like to do these shooting star. I make one star, a littler one behind it, and keep doing that like a trail. Kind of looks cute, like a shooting star. And then if you want to make, you could just leave it just like that. Like if you like it just like that, that's fine, just the way it is. If you want to make the star look bigger, you start from the center and you're going to make 4 lines. So one going up, one going down, one going to the right, and one going to the left. And when I'm trying to explain how to do this. So basically when you start in the circle, you add pressure when you're pushing your line out, and then you lessen your pressure as you go towards the end of the line. So it should be like thicker at the base and then getting skinnier. This is something I'm practicing, so it might turn out really bad. So basically go like a little bit harder in the beginning and then let it go. See how it's like kind of crooked there. And same here, you just go a little bit harder pressure and then you release it. So this is, like I said, something I'm practicing. More pressure in the beginning and then release it. Kind of like a flick, I guess. This will take practice because I'm still practicing this. You can leave it like that if you like it like that. You can add the little stars, more lines diagonally this way and this way. And I'll just do one going this way. And I'm being very gentle with my hand. Like that one looks a little bit too fat. I didn't make it, like, it's not pointy enough at the tip. Like this one looks nicer than that one. But, like I said, I'm still practicing. So if you want to make your star look bigger, you can do that and just practice like on a scrap piece of paper with your ink. Practicing how you like your lines to look. Yeah, and that's basically it. The next tutorial I'm going to do this exact same color, I'm going to use the same color, the purple star, but I'm going to teach you how to do it in a black background, like a normal black galaxy sky, because the coloring technique to blend it is just a little bit different in getting a gradient between the black and the purple. But you can do this with any color. You could do this with green, blue, pink, yellow, orange, whatever color you want. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments and I will get back to you. Bye.